afternoon, everyone. Hello and welcome to GCC's Georgia Chiro Connection. Happy Valentine's month. Happy February. Happy winter. I am your host, Dr. Kathy, and I'm really excited today to speak with one of our newest board members down in Augusta, Georgia, Dr. Chris Walker. Hey, Dr. Chris.
Hey, Kathy, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm a little scratchy, but I got a little bit of a voice, so I'm excited to jump right in and talk with you about so many cool things that's going on with the GCC.
All right, sounds good. Let's get to it. That way you don't have to use your words.
All right. So first and foremost, tell us, what is it that compelled you to join this crazy board and be part of the GCC board of directors?
Well, I've been involved with the board, semi-involved for the last decade, between friendships and running this, pretty much being our guy in the east side of Georgia. And life is now finally at a place where I can step up to the plate. How our lives are, kids get a little older, practices, just rocking. And I also feel like it's something that each of us need to do if we want to keep our profession the way we have it for the next generation.
It goes back to that, like the duty to serve our profession, right? We owe a debt of gratitude and a duty to serve. Love it.
Well, my son's been joining us for the last almost 3 years now, going to D, and he chooses each time to actually come with us. So I feel like there's a little seed there that is maybe getting planted and maybe sprouting. I don't know. I don't put any pressure on him. Of course, we love him to follow Dad's footsteps, and Winter's involved in the practice on a daily basis, so really it's following Mom and Dad's footsteps. But we won't push him into it. But I want to make sure that our profession, 10 years from now, when he would say finish school, that he can still practice the way I practice, with the same freedom, and still be able to be subluxation-based and chiropractor as being the forefront, not as a second thought. And there's a lot of people in our profession that are trying to change that, and trying to put us into a different model. And, I realized that, some mentors and some good friends of mine that have been stepping up for years that, it's time for them to give away the torch a little bit and to help push it forward. You can't have the same people running the same race. They're going to get tired. So we need fresh legs.
Well, I'm glad to have your fresh legs as a part of the team, because what you said is exactly what I say about my kids all the time. I hope that Anthony and Alessia choose this pathway, but reality is, you want them to choose the path that's right for them. But regardless, I want the profession to be the profession that we know and love when it's their time. And if they do choose to go to Life University or go to chiropractic school, I always joke that, they could do whatever they want after they graduate from Life. But if they choose to go to chiropractic school, I want them to have the education we had. I want them to have the experience. I want them to have the philosophy that's so deep for us and for us as chiropractors that we bring to our families as well as to our patients. So I love that you say that with your son as well.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's 100% what I want him to do. And, he'll ask all the time, because he said to me, what did he say to me a couple of months ago? We were in the car washing my car, and he looked at me, he goes, Dad, he goes, what? He goes, you would like going to work. And of course I told him, I said, son, I haven't worked in 18 years. Right. When you're serving, you're not working. And he goes, but you're happy. You want to go to work. And I said, yeah. And he goes, yeah, my other friends' dads just don't do that. And I said, what does that tell you? He goes, and he just looked at me and goes, I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure that out. He goes, I know you're happier than they are.
Good.
So.
Good. And I think that's important for our kids to see, that we love what we do. We're excited to go to our offices. It's a party every day. You're coming in, you put the music on that you want. You have the people coming in that you get to celebrate all the positive things in their life with them and help them achieve their goals. I mean, what better way to spend our time, and for our kids to see that. We had a little event at the office last night for teen drivers, and we brought in a driving school. We brought in an attorney and an insurance agent, and my son was here with some of the other kids his age, and just to have them here in the office participating in
Yeah.
stuff that it reminds them, like the life that we get to live, our trips down to Disney and Orlando, where we get to run into each other and have a
Yeah.
time with our kids together. This is provided for by chiropractic. And I think it's important for our kids to see that and understand that.
Well, that's the other thing. I feel like it's I owe chiropractic a debt as well. I mean, we are amazingly blessed and abundant in what chiropractic has, brought to our family, to live the lifestyle that we do and to do it by just serving. That at some point I need to make sure I'm serving back besides just my patients, but what gave me the ability to do what I do.
Right. Right. I love it. And I'm so glad to have your energy on the board. You have been instrumental for so many years helping us with all the Augusta events, and to officially have you on the board is a big deal, because I know that you're going to be bringing a lot of positive influences to not only the GCC, but to our membership, right? To help us attract more people and to help people see the benefit of joining GCC. So talk to me a little bit about what you see going forward.
And what with GCC is all about is making sure it's connecting, is building on our continuing ed. As you can see, I know just from, we'll talk about, just Augusta. I know last year from us was absolutely amazing with our attendance. But, we started Augusta CE here. We first did the outreach, and it was done with like 8 people or 5 people. I think it was 5 people, maybe 8 for part of the weekend at my office. And we did like 8 hours. And then the following year, I think in my office, we had like 15 or 20. And it was like, okay, now we got to go somewhere else. And then went to a small hotel. And then this last time we had almost standing room only. We were trying to figure out where people were going to sit. And, it's the feedback I always get from them is when it's their first attendees is that we're bringing fresh things. And we're bringing things that not are just trying to people coming in to sell them something, where a lot of the other continuing ed things, there's that big old piece of hook at the end. And of course we have some of those because you got people that got to do some teaching, but a lot of the others is us giving up our own time, tackling a presentation and bringing in some material that they can use actually on Monday to better serve their patients, run a better, more ethic office. And it's real tools, not just wasted time of, man, I got to go sit in a classroom for 20 hours and check a box. Right. They're actually coming away with something that they can use.
That's huge. Yeah,
yes.
That's huge. So do we have the Augusta date already for this year? Do you know it off the top of your head?
I do not know it off the top of my head. And okay. I pull up my phone real quick, but we're actually on it because my Mac was not liking our system today.
Okay. So I know that we have the entire schedule already on our website at georgiachiropractic.org. But let's talk about the next coming event, because we've got an event coming this month. Yep. So let's talk about our philosophy event.
So we have, along with the DE Club, the GCC, we're hosting a Saturday Night Live. And we have some great speakers. Brian Lieberman is going to be anchoring our night. Mm-hmm. Opening up before him is a waist butt. And then we actually have Bree Lieberman, Brian's daughter, was chosen by the DE Club to speak. And then we have Paul Adams, which is another student. So we're going to have students kick it off. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to have 2 solid DE anchor speakers to finish the night. Yeah. And if you've not seen them, either one of them, it's going to be worth driving up to Life University if you're in the state of Georgia or one of the surrounding things. I think it's 7 or 7:30 on at Life University on February 25th. It's a Saturday. Mm-hmm. And it's going to go from about 7 to 9:30. And hopefully it'll enlighten some people and encourage some souls.
I love it. I think it'll be great. I know those Saturday Night Lives are always so well attended. We get a lot of students there. We get a bunch of local docs, and we always get a couple docs that come in from the surrounding area. So put that on your calendar for February 25th. A couple other things that have to go on your calendar right now. We got that Augusta date. It's August 26th and 27th down in Augusta. But before that, we've got Cinco de Chiro. That's always a fun event because we bring a bunch of students in, we bring a bunch of speakers in, we bring a bunch of docs in, and we just have a good time. It's a really social event where we get to share the philosophy. We get to have some Mexican food, maybe some Mexican drinks, have a good time. And then coming up in the fall, we have our golf tournament. That's our GCC Cairo Cup. That is a good one. So that's October 19th. It's going to be at Bridge Mill again. If you were there this year, you know that it was a sold out event. It was a great time, perfect weather, really, really a good time, raised a lot of money for good causes. So mark your calendar for October 19th for our next Cairo Cup.
Yes, this will be my first one I get to play and how the schedule falls, it looks like.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be playing this year too. I got golf shirts, so then I was ready, right? I got shirts, so I'm ready.
The outfits,
I got the outfit. So once I had a shirt, I had to get the little pants and the little skirt. Now I got golf shoes. I just got golf clubs. So I'm ready. I've got golf lessons. So I'm going to be ready. I'm going to get the high score that day. I'm going to be top notch.
You want the low score.
Oh, I do?
The high score, yeah, remember golf is the lower score.
What? I'm probably still going to get the high score that day, but it'll be good. It'll be good. I'll get the high score and I'll be proud of myself for that. I'll be proud of myself for getting out there and playing, right? That's the big part. You got to be in it to win it.
Oh yeah. And have a good time. And we'll have some, fellowship with our fellow chiropractors.
Yeah.
And, I think we don't do enough of that. I think a lot of times people forget, especially when we start getting out to practice and lives happen, that we have to re-energize our souls, because practice can sometimes be a grind.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be,
you can feel like you can feel like you're on an island sometimes, like if you feel like, your patients are all going down the crazy pathway because they're listening to the mainstream media, it can feel like you're on an island and you're the only one trying to save everybody. So it's good to be around other chiropractors. It's good to get dipped in our philosophy and stay grounded and have people that you can just chill out with and not know that it's going to be a battle of a conversation. They're like-minded and they're on the same mission as you. Exactly.
Which is one of the reasons why I make sure I get to DE 4 times a year. And our next one is coming up in April 13th to the 16th. And this is going to be a little special one because this will be the last one at the Sarasota Hotel because they're tearing it down. And we've been going there for a long time. There's been a lot of great memories. Of course, Sarasota holds a lot of chiropractic, history. BJ having a house right there. Yeah. Uncle Sid having his house right next door. And of course, you got the Colombian restaurant, which is where they all ate forever, which is one of my things I always trek back to when we get there. So that is definitely a place people can go if they're feeling on an island. Or even just the calls that we're doing here every week. Or the Band of Brother calls that we have going on every Tuesday on the Dynamic Essentials page. Yeah. You got to get it somewhere. That island can get smaller and smaller. And next thing you know, you got a foot in and then a body in. And the next thing you know, you're doing the doggy paddle to stay alive. When there's resources here that you don't have to be that doc that's doing that.
So true. Yeah. I love it. Also, we have the Georgia Chiropractic Facebook page. I think it's called Georgia Chiropractors. Correct me if I'm.
Yes, I believe you are correct. That's what we changed the name. It used to be like the Georgia Chiropractic Alliance, just the Georgia Chiropractors.
Yep. And
there's a lot actually getting more and more interaction in that group. People are asking questions, getting involved, voicing their concerns about stuff. It's not a page that's monitored for you have to practice this way or that way or go to this seminar. It's just for everybody that's in the state of Georgia. And actually we have a few of them from surrounding states that go like the vibe of that group.
I love it. So Dr. Chris, I want to leave everybody with a feel-good story. So I know you've got thousands of patient testimonials and tons of great stories that you've been able to share with your patients and you've been able to share with other chiropractors. But if you could give us one story to kind of inspire us, motivate us, or keep us grounded so that as we go back into our offices this afternoon and for the rest of this week, we kind of have one of your stories to share and keep us on purpose, on fire?
Let's see. Most recent one would be our pair of twins. If you know anything about me, twins have a very tender spot in my soul. But they came in, they were patients of mine. They're actually the grandbabies of a NICU nurse that took care of our kids. And they both came in with torticollis. And they both came in, doing this and not wanting to eat and having all kinds of other issues. And both of them, one was a little more stubborn than the other, are now completely range of motion, completely thriving. They're clear. They went from being, a little undernourished because they weren't feeding like they were supposed to be to being nice, thick, and chubby, like we want babies to be, because that means they're healthy. That one stands right off the tip of my tongue. And then we had another great one was we actually have a neuro that was losing fingerling in was able not to stop and hold an instrument. And it's amazing when you reconnect the brain and the body, what can heal. For us, that was a huge building block. And it's funny because I thought he'd come in, most of those guys are a little conservative, and he had already went to a couple other people and that were much more gentler adjusters than the big guns I tend to shoot at. And he goes, no, that's the reason I'm here. I was told that if anybody can do it, you can do it. And it was awesome. 6 weeks later, we had him back to living.
Love it.
And now we've got an awesome, educated doctor on the other side referring other patients to us.
Right. Who experienced it firsthand. Right.
Yeah. And not afraid and telling actually, because he works at the university here, the med school, about, hey, no, we shouldn't be bashing these guys. These guys know what they're doing. So we're planting seeds that we're hopefully going to turn into forests there.
Love it. Love it. Fantastic. Thank you for inspiring us. That's terrific.
So
awesome. Well, I want to thank you for your time coming on here today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And
Absolutely.
You see, you handled that. You didn't choke once.
I didn't choke. I had a drink. Because my vocal cords are kind of closing when I talk too much, but I'll get off and I'll go rest my vocal cords before the patients start coming back in. But to everybody, thank you for joining us here. I know that I've been absent for the last week or two as I rested my voice, but we will see you back here next Wednesday for GCC's Georgia Chiro Connection. Bye, everybody. Thanks, Dr. Chris.
Bye. Okay, Doc.